Hey Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline and fans. You're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to talk about Star Wars C-3PO. Yes, C-3PO. They made a comic about C-3PO. And now he got his red arm. So if you're really that into the character, then this might be a book you want to pick up. However, I for myself am a huge Star Wars fan. And I'm like, do I really care about the red arm? But I said, let's see what the story has to offer. So I decided to pick it up. I don't know why, because I felt like I wasted $5. Don't get me wrong. It's an okay story. It kind of has some emotional stuff going on in it. But it's not worth $5. $2.99? Maybe. $5? No. Let's talk about it. James Robinson is the writer on the book, and the artwork is done by Tony Harris. The artwork is okay, but it lacks in detail. I think it's very heavy on the inks. And whenever it comes to, and I've said this before, when it comes to robots, things that take a lot of detail like spaceships and armor and things like that, I think you need a very polished, artwork, a solid colorer that's going to bring out those colors. It doesn't get drowned in ink, and that's where this book lacked. I thought that it could have a lot more detail in it. Everything was very bold on the inking, and the color was very dark as well. And I wanted it to be a little bit brighter, especially when it has to do about a character like C-3PO, who is very light. And so I was a little bit turned off by this artwork. So what did I think about the actual story? Well, in this story, we find out that C-3PO crash lands on this planet, okay, and he has other droids with him, and he has another droid that's captive, that's a prisoner. His name is Omari, or that's how you say his name. And what happens is we find out that obviously they have to get to they have to call for help, and they find out that there's this beacon on the other side of the planet. They got to travel to this planet and through the planet, and they come across all these different dangers. The problem with this book is that if you dislike C-3PO in the movies because he jibber jabbers the whole time, you're gonna hate this book because he talks like freaking mad. And not only does he talk like crazy, but you got all the other droids talking blah 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 blah, and they're just like, oh my god, they just won't shut up. And so that's what happens. And as they're traveling across the planet, they come across these foreign creatures, and they're doing these battles against them, and each time around they come across a different obstacle, we see a different droid fall. And it reminds me of like a classic like Aliens movie or something like that. Everyone dies when they come across danger. So, and we find out that these two bots, these androids, these droids, they actually, even though they're on technically opposite sides, they wind up working together in the end and becoming friends. And as friendly as droids can be. And there were some okay dialogue moments in here, and we wind up getting to witness C-3PO's arm getting ripped off, and it's by this weird, crazy creature, and he's like, I'm used to this, it happens to me all the time, you know? And so it's not really a huge shocker because C-3PO is right. It has happened to him many times. We've seen it many times in the movie theaters. So to see it here in a comic, it's really no different. So by the time we get to the end of it, we see that, yes, the two droids remain, and they finally come across a TIE fighter that can produce this beacon to get rescued. All of a sudden, it starts raining acid rain, and they wind up having to take shelter. Maury winds up kind of sacrificing himself for the better cause of good. And he winds up walking in the acid rain. He has to activate the beacon so rescuers can come and save C-3PO. And he sacrifices himself. And obviously now we find out where the red arm comes from, because C-3PO experienced this journey with him, and he wanted to remember him by, because he saved his life, and he wanted to have a part of him attached to C-3PO. And that's where he got the red arm from. And so he could always remember him and that adventure that he went through. And obviously the other droids as well. The end. Like I said, it's a good book. It's just not worth spending $5 for. If you care about C-3PO, if you want to really know what happened and how he got that red arm, this is the book for you. It doesn't give you any clues on the First Order. It doesn't give any bad guys in here, stormtroopers, anything like that. It's just some random C-3PO adventure. How he survived, Lord knows, but he did. And take the book for what it is. But for me, very average read. It doesn't get more than a 3 out of 5 stars, unfortunately. So guys, tell me in the comments below what you thought of Star Wars C-3PO issue number 1, or the one shot. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline, and until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, fans. See you soon. Bye.